Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Dr. Donyall Dickey, and I'm the founder and chief executive officer of Educational Epiphany, one of America's fastest growing publishing and professional development companies. I spend a great deal of my time writing textbooks and curricula for English, mathematics, social studies, and science, and creating high impact, unique teacher resources and professional books and commissioning children's books that are all carefully designed to ensure that children have access to a schooling experience that is fully worthy of consumption. And as you can readily see, we're in a brand new podcast studio.
Yay.
And I hope that through this podcast studio, we'll be able to bring to you each month content that is one part instructive, one part inspirational, and dare I say, one part entertaining. And to that end, today I'm joined by a couple of gentlemen with which I would like you to become familiar. Richard Bork, our Chief Marketing Officer.
Hi, everyone.
And Jerry Richardson, our Chief Operations Officer.
Hello.
Did you say hello to me or were you saying hello to the people?
Everyone.
Everyone. Okay, fantastic. So I have questions for you guys. Let me start with you, Richard.
Okay.
Would you give folks some insight into how you became a part of this transformative work that we do here at Educational Epiphany?
Absolutely. I'd love to. It's one of the proudest moments of my life, an epiphany, career-wise and personally.
Yeah.
So a personal and professional epiphany for me. I grew up in the publishing industry in New York City. I worked at Interview Magazine, Andy Warhol's art publication, and right across the street was a big red bar, Scholastic. And so I used to walk to work and be like, oh, I bet great things are happening at that company. I remember reading those kids' books when I was a kid. And then I worked there for a very long time, and I had the privilege of meeting you when we were launching Scholastic Literacy, which is a K-6 core ELA reading program, and you were the lead author of it. And so if anyone of you out there in educational publishing have been through launching a core curriculum, it is no joke, to say the least. And Dr. Dickey and I met, and the rest is history. So for me to be able to become a part of the work that you had been doing for 10 years before you had even met me at this organization, and welcome me in with such open arms and positive culture, to have such a great impact, a big impact on kids and learning and education in America, was just a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, and I recall distinctly when we met, and soon thereafter, it was almost as if we'd known each other for a very long time.
Yes, sir.
And so thank you for your contribution to our work. We aren't just producing professional development.
That's right.
We aren't just producing, teacher resources. We're helping a generation.
That's right.
Millions of children we don't get to meet, but our work, it meets them in their classrooms each day.
It does, and in their homes and in their communities. And so thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Jerry, your turn.
Oh, gosh. Right after Richard. Thank you. One thing I was thinking about earlier this morning was that I'm like a true definition of a middle child. And not in a way of like Marsha, but in a way that, like, when I was born, I have to like figure out my way because I have an older sibling, I have a younger sibling. And the same thing happened with my career. I stepped up in the middle of the school year. The kids had already had a teacher for so long. So now I have to now be their teacher, and I have to know what to do. And in fact, I've learned that I was playing school and I wasn't really actually teaching them to the fullest that they actually deserve. And so along the way, I had people show me like what teaching really was, like questioning. And I'm like, a question is teaching? And they're like, yes, just ask them a bunch of questions that will get them to the big goal. And then I met Dr. Dickey, and he was like, vocabulary. And I'm like, vocabulary? He's like, yes, teach them vocabulary. You know, if you're teaching them about percentages, make sure you talk about the word parts and percentage. I'm like, percent? Okay, out of 100. Okay, oh, that's an easy way to teach them that. And so along the way, I've been like picking up little nuggets, and stepping into my role here at Educational Epiphany just kind of like crystallizes everything in a way that I'm like, I fully understand instruction and the art of it that I never knew before. So
we've caused you to mature a bit.
yes,
All right.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
Jerry.
you.
Both
Thank
of
you
us,
for
I
your-
think, Doc.
Yeah. Oh, and how were you able to make a reference to the Brady Bunch and you're all of what?
Because I started stepping into this role as well, and then had to figure out my way and where, and I was coming up. I have like these two big personalities and mentors, and now I'm like, how do I fit into this organization? So, once again, I had to come in and kind of figure my way.
Yeah, but
figure
now
my
you're
pathway.
one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And thanks for the compliment about, being powerful, but you were just as powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try.
Okay, so second question, Richard, it's for you. You've alluded to this a bit already, but could you expound? How has being associated with this brand, how has it impacted you?
In a big way, in so many ways. I think professionally, it's impacted me in a way where when you're responsible and when you have that moment of realization that you're responsible for what that child in that classroom is reading and learning from, the meticulous nature of our work and the detailed orientation of our work and the impact of our work, it does something to you. And I think when I realized visiting classrooms with you, that was one thing I always missed in my previous role, was being able to actually see what's going on in classrooms in America.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I first came on board, unfortunately it was a pandemic, but we still got on planes and trains and we did it
Because we were masked up.
we were masked up.
We had pounds of hand sanitizer.
Yes, we did.
We kept 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
But even in the pandemic, I don't mean to interrupt you, but even in the pandemic, there was still a sense of urgency in this brand as it comes to our service to kids.
Correct. And I was so excited too. So, and I was watching you do it. So I said to myself, like, if Doc is out there doing it, then why can't I? Like, you showed me that like nothing will stop this brand.
Nothing.
So I think back to your question, it has changed me in a way where I am more intentional about the work that I do on the publishing side. I'm more conscientious of the language that we use in our marketing and our messaging, and I really relish and enjoy being in charge of my own department, which is a freedom that you have allowed me, and it's helped me grow professionally.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up your department because, folks can, see us and think it's just us.
Yeah.
But there are design folks, there's manufacturing folks, some of which are not in this country, right? There are folks who edit our work to make sure we don't miss a dash or a hyphen. Yeah. There are folks who help us with, deciding how we will present information to folks through front matter. And so there's a great deal. I sort of think about it as like a duck sitting on the surface of a body of water. You see that cute duck. You see this cute stuff behind us.
Yes.
But we were doing all of this
Yes.
to try to make it happen
Yes. Every day.
every single day.
Yeah. So I hope I answered your question.
Oh, no, you did. Okay. The work has transformed. It's made you're not just producing resources.
Right.
You meet the people who are beneficiaries of the resource.
Like growing up in marketing, like everyone always says to you, like the number one mantra is like you have to listen to your customer, give them what they're the ones in control, not you.
Yeah.
And so like being able to take my product marketing background and grow it into some product development work and editorial work, and then pair it with my marketing experience has just been it's been amazing.
Awesome. Thank you, Rich. Jerry, same question for you. How has this work transformed you?
I think in many ways, mostly is like understanding all the dynamics that go into running a company.
Oh, you like that?
It is like
that duck thing.
I
huh?
wanna curse, but I can't, right?
Of course you can.
And so just understanding all the different parts that go into the company and making sure that it's run efficiently, and you want to make sure everyone is happy and get what they want. And so always dealing with those challenges that push and pull. And that has changed me personally, because now I am that person in my group, in my friend group, in my family. I'm one organizing events, organizing parties. And at some point I'm like, I have to stop.
For sanity's sake.
That's when Jerry just looks at you like,
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out.
Like-
But Jerry, were you already? Was that already? Because if I squeeze a lemon, orange juice will not come out of it.
That's correct.
What's in it will come out of it.
That's correct.
Were you not already this person to some degree before?
Yeah, I think I was always this person. It's just magnified.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll send you a bill.
and I'm so happy to have an operations partner, because to do marketing and product development without an operations partner who is like so as attentive and what's the word? You're always there to like help out, and you're so good at working with our partners, and
Yeah,
like,
people like him.
yeah, like you have this
They
really
like
great
me.
calming
I'm not sure
nature.
why.
You like me.
Yeah, they actually like him. And some people still tell me, you don't have to come back. We'll take Jerry.
Yeah.
Wait a minute now.
Hold up.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's Boaz, our friends, Ashley.
I would love Ashley Walls.
Yeah, Boaz. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely. All right, can we ask Doctor a question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you have a
Oh,
question?
God, I'm on the
Yeah,
hot seat.
yeah.
I'm in
I
the
have a
hot seat.
question.
Hot seat.
So Doc, like you started out as a third grade teacher in Baltimore. And like I love the story of your progression all the way up to being in charge of hundreds of thousands of children and educators. It's exhausting work. Like I see you even this week, right? It's a Thursday, and all three of us have been together for 4 days. And I think across the last 4 days, I've seen you like sleep for probably about 3.5 hours across a 4-day period. How do you do it? Like what, like when because I know when I wake up on 2 hours of sleep, I'm fighting the world at large. Like, it's so hard sometimes, like planes, like you got to pack, you got to think, you got to prep, you got to get your presentation ready. You got to get to the airport on time. You got to fly somewhere, oftentimes in a different time zone.
You have a meeting at the airport.
Have a meeting at the airport on the way to the airport.
When you get off the plane.
I have a PD that I have to do at the airport in a tiny little box inside of the Sky Club.
Right. And then you eat like a little bag of chips like in the middle of a 12-hour period. So
You
like
have to approve expense reports that I'm
Yeah.
sending your way. It's
Gnawing
on his
at me.
contract.
Gnawing at me. Yes.
you got to put up with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Lord help me.
how do you what is it? What is it?
Well, let me answer your question, but let me say this before I do. You said it in your question that I was in charge of these schools, and kids. I would say that just a bit differently. I was responsible for them. I just want to sit in that for a second. I was responsible for hundreds of thousands of children on any given day, and what had been prepared for them in service to them. And so, when I was, a third grade teacher, I was responsible for 30 kids. And then I became, a principal at a very young age. And I was responsible for a couple of thousand kids every day for 180 days for consecutive years. And then as an assistant superintendent, I went to West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. That neighborhood in Philly.
Right.
When I got there, 36% of the children were grappling with a disability, but only 12% of the nation is grappling with disability. And so we knew something was amiss there.
Big time.
And then responsible a year later for all 300 of those schools, which represented a couple of 100,000 kids. So from 30 kids to a couple of 100,000 kids in just a few years, because folks moved me quickly.
Right. I want to, like, to people, as a parent, right? Like, you're not always cognizant. I don't wonder if people, the public at large, realizes the responsibility. That word is so huge.
Yeah.
Like the responsibility of a superintendent, the responsibility of a classroom teacher. Like,
Yeah.
you're watching after.
Yeah. Well, the law says I'm in loco parentis, which is Latin for I'm in the place of the parent. And so that's why I went back to that word responsible. If I could say, then I became responsible for a Southeast, a prominent school district in the Southeast. When I got there, 67% of the schools were eligible for state takeover. And after 1 year, we got all of them out of eligibility for takeover. And so to answer your question, how do I do it? I'm reminded of my own start.
Yeah.
And you guys know I say this all the time. I hate to. But I read somewhere that, when you are bold enough to share with people what you've been through, then you can help other people to break loose from things that are holding them down and bound.
Amen.
And so how do I do it? I remember sleeping on the floor of my grandmother's living room because my mom had significant issues. And I could see in her shotgun house where I slept for 5 years before I went to college, first in my family to go, I could see the ground underneath the floor. And I caught the breeze from the draft from underneath the house, and the draft from underneath the door sill in the living room where I slept with not enough to keep me warm at night. And so it was educators who impacted me. Mm-hmm. Like my kindergarten teacher, Miss Smith, I think I had a crush on her. She was in my 6-year-old self. She was probably 7 feet tall. I mean, she was statuesque, and I wanted to go to school to see Miss Smith. Yeah. And so, but then there were people who did things for me who didn't have to, and they didn't all look like me either. And so, people will make you think that we're a divided nation, but there are people who will help you, and they don't want anything from you. And so I'm the beneficiary of people who helped me, who didn't want anything from me. And so it's my responsibility to pay that forward.
I love when you tell that story because it shows the level of nothing's impossible for our kids.
Yeah.
Even it doesn't matter where they come in, how we get them. We can get them to the points that they need to be at the end.
Yeah, because we don't control who we inherit in our classrooms, but I think we can control what we do with our inheritance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's 100% and then some. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all
powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to have you guys here each month. I hope that we can bring to folks something that they can use.
Yeah. Get ready.
Us too. Yeah. This is a really exciting opportunity, and we can't wait to dive into some of the issues in American public schools. Yeah. At large, and the solutions. Like, our goal is to look at problems and diagnose and prescribe powerful and impactful ways where educators, no matter what grade you teach, what content area you teach, or what type of school district you work in, or what type of culture you work in,
that's right,
we're gonna come up with ways based on our experiences on the ground every single day all over this country, how to help.
Yeah. Or family members as well.
That's right, because I think it's important to note that, and I'm going to break the wall and look right at the camera. I think it's important to note that, yes, this is a conversation for educators, but it's also a conversation for advocates of public education. When I say public, I mean charter as well. But this is also a conversation for parents. Because, people will think that parents do not have interest, but we have no idea what they're up against just to get that kid to school each morning.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so their absence doesn't mean they don't care. And so what I would like for this podcast to become is a lighthouse also for parents, so that you can have access to our bright ideas, like for teaching and learning, because we have some, and we're not just doing PD. We're helping communities change. I told a group of kids, and we'll go to close in just a moment. But I told a group of kids in Dooley,
Yes.
Georgia. The superintendent asked me to come and teach a group of kids for a week because they were concerned about the extent to which kids had been exposed to instruction of the highest quality. And so I taught a group of secondary kids, and I told the kids, I said, this test you guys are getting ready to take, I think we put too much stock in it, because an assessment at the end of the year should not be the only measure of the extent to which you've been served. But I will tell you this: how you score, how you perform in school each day, it determines the property value of that house right over there down the street.
And the kid said, "What?
What?
right.
Our neighborhood is right. Depending on how we test.
Yeah. And
The value of our neighborhood.
The value of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So a sheetrock, the value of it is determined by how well you demonstrate that you've been served well.
Oof. Crazy.
Yeah. And so I said, so I got a text message yesterday from the chief academic officer of that school district, and she said, so by the time folks see this, the data won't be embargoed, so I won't get that person in trouble. But there's indications that what we did worked. And I'm talking about an impoverished community on a trajectory of underperformance, long-standing tradition of underperformance. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a card that Richard gave me. I'm supposed to read it. Okay. I'm right. Everybody, thank you for listening. We want you to stay connected, to learn about our upcoming events, and to get updates on what we're up to. We'd love for you to follow us on X at Epiphany. And so some of you might know we had a Twitter account or an X account by my name at Donyall D. But we have a new one now. And so we would love to have you transfer from at Donyall D to at Epiphany. And follow us on all other social channels as well at Educational Epiphany. And so you can find the links to download and subscribe to this podcast entitled The Epiphany Exchange, along with additional resources like our website, which is educationalepiphany.com, and episode descriptions, okay? No, in the episode descriptions, you can find all of this, okay? And so thanks again, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care.